Well, ladies and gentlemen, it finally happened. Ilia Topuria, Ilia como un burro. I'm just playing. I'm putting some respect on his name. Ilia Topuria is now the new UFC lightweight champion, becoming the 10th fighter in UFC history to win 2 belts.
Busted up. Oh! Out cold.
A man of his word.
Oh my goodness.
And now
he called
the new UFC lightweight champion.
Dude is becoming the 2020's version of Conor McGregor. So many people don't like Ilia because they think he is too cocky. He's out the night before the fight celebrating the victory. But what makes this more impressive is that so many questions leading up to this fight needed to be answered. First of all, how was Ilia's size going to matter in the division? How was he going to deal with Charles grappling? Well, it turns out he was a better grappler in the entire equation, only to lead up to that vicious right hook that sealed the fate of him becoming, I wouldn't say a double champion because he vacated, I wouldn't even say he got stripped, but he vacated the featherweight title and now moved up and won the lightweight title. He basically did what BJ Penn did, what Randy Couture did, what Alex Bejeda did by winning a title in one weight class, moving up and winning yet another one. Nonetheless, it's greatness, and it's time we start putting some respect on his name because of the legends' names that he took. Don't forget Volkanovski, Holloway, now Oliveira, to the point where his superstardom is going through the roof that HBO Max is doing a reality TV series on Ilia. Now, the reports are, or at least what we saw at the end of the fight, was that he wants Paddy Pimblett, the Piglet, next for his very first title defense.
He's got to submit me. He won't do that. He said it because he knows he can't knock me out. Get it, buff.
Bruh.
But if you ask Dana, he said that shouldn't have even happened, and I kind of agree.
Ilia, after the fight, he called in Paddy Pimblett and brought him into the cage, and they had a face-off. Obviously, they've got a long history together. I know there's a lot of options on the table for Ilia, but when he shows that type of interest in a fight, does that make you want to make it?
Well, I don't know who the hell let him in there. That should have never happened. Let's start there. I was already back in my room, or that would have never happened. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think about that stuff tonight, other than, obviously the Van fight. But, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out.
But as I just said, Ilia has other ideas.
Had a little fun to me, but, there's Arman Tsarukyan, there's Justin Gaethje. Is that the fight that you want more than anything else?
Yes, that's the fight that I want, because with Charles I had a little bit difficult situation because I really like the guy. He's a really great human being. You can hate him. You always see him surrounded by his family, friends, teammates. He's an amazing human being. But at the end I was like, this is competition, I have to do my job, and that's it. But with Paddy, I'm really gonna enjoy kicking his ass.
Now, I know lightweight has a true #1 contender in Arman Tsarukyan. However, he is still not in the good graces of the UFC because he did the ultimate sin that you can do in the UFC, and that's miss weight. Not only miss weight, but miss weight on the day before the fight. I don't even know how he was awarded the backup position in this fight for Charles and Ilia. So you could easily go that route. You got Justin Gaethje out there saying that, if I don't get a title shot, we riot, I'll retire. Retire, Justin. I like Justin Gaethje. He's a great fighter, great human being. But my problem with him is that he thinks after one singular win, mind you, which was his last win before that against Rafael Fiziev, that he is automatically granted a title shot. That's not how this works. And I know people are like, well, you're going to be granting Paddy a title shot after a win over Michael Chandler. That's a lot different, only because Paddy has star power. Not the same superstar power as Ilia, but it'll sell a lot more pay-per-views. It will sell more pay-per-views than an Arman Tsarukyan fight. It will sell more pay-per-views than a Justin Gaethje fight. And the UFC is all about making money. They're turning into boxing when it comes to making money and not giving the true #1 contenders title shots. That's what some people say and think. But you get the idea. The division is rather stacked, and people just want to see Arman get the title shot. I want to see him get the title shot so we could just move on from that. I want to see Justin Gaethje to get the title shot so we could just move on from that. But I would not say no to a Paddy and Ilia fight because it'll be a huge fight. And Dana seems to be a little bit frustrated with Gaethje and with Arman.
Getting back in the good graces with you and the
Well, it's not about getting back in the good graces. It's about, the guy had the opportunity to fight for a title and didn't make weight. It's just, you couldn't fuck up anything worse than that. But he proved, now that he's not fighting for the title, and he was here as a backup fighter, he made weight. So it's definitely a step in the right direction.
And staying in that division, Justin Gaethje said that if he doesn't get a title shot, that he'd be thinking about retiring, and that he's basically inferring that you guys owe him a favor for him stepping in for UFC 300. I just wanted your thoughts on that.
Listen, everybody has their opinions on. Listen, if you're thinking about retiring, you know how I feel about that. You should probably retire. We love Justin Gaethje, and Justin Gaethje did step up, and he's been an exciting, fun fighter to have here in the UFC. But to say, hey, listen, unless you give me a title shot, I'm retiring. That's pretty wacky.
Now let's talk about Charles. After Ilia sent him to the Brazilian gods and had everyone in the favela fall into their knees, I have to be honest, like I always am on this channel, it's over. And I've watched enough UFC to know that there was no way on God's green earth he was gonna win this fight. But I gave him a chance because fighting is so unpredictable. We have no idea how it's gonna go, how it's gonna play out. I thought maybe he had a chance because each and every single time I doubted Charles Oliveira against Michael Chandler, against Dustin Poirier, against Justin Gaethje, I ended up eating my words. But then I bet on him to beat Islam Makhachev, and he loses. I bet on him to defeat Arman Tsarukyan, and he loses. I bet on him to beat Ilia Topuria, and he loses. My heart was going for Charles, but my brain was rooting for Ilia. My YouTube brain, my analyst brain was rooting for Ilia, was predicting Ilia would win. So you see this all the time. I've seen this. In my almost 20 years of watching this sport, a fighter has the belt, defends it a few times, loses the belt. Then he's going to fight for the belt once again against a young, hungry, up-and-coming contender, another fighter looking to prove himself, and he loses. He loses in devastating fashion. That's literally what happened to Charles. He will never get another shot at the title again, and even if he does, I don't think he'll win it because he just had his time. His time was from 2021 to 2022, and that's okay. He started from the bottom, now he's there. A kid from the favela growing up and being something where he statistically probably shouldn't have, and having such a rough UFC career starting at 10-8, this man has succeeded what many fighters won't. So I give him his flowers, and most importantly, I give Ilia his flowers. I'm putting some respect on his name. And with Conor McGregor passing the torch, basically saying, congrats on winning my old title, Ilia, I hope that's not the case. But with Conor giving him some praise, you can make the argument that Ilia is, like I said earlier, the 2020's version of Conor McGregor, and he has become one of my all-time favorite UFC fighters. I want to know what you guys think about this entire weekend in the comment section. What's next for Ilia? What's next for Charles? Let me know. It's your boy Hollywood AJ. Let me know what type of content you want to see next. I'll see you on the next one.